Welcome to the Maps for Parents podcast, produced by Meerilinga Parenting Services. Meerilinga is a not-for-profit that exists to support parents and families in Perth and has done so for over 100 years. This podcast series is funded by Healthway, and my name is Belynda. We are speaking with Sharon Cooke. Sharon originally trained as a registered midwife and child health nurse, and in the first half of her career, she worked in early parenting, supporting families through consultations and parent education, with a special focus on children's sleep and behaviour. As a mother of 3 herself, Sharon was motivated to really understand the mysteries of parenting, and she dug deep into it all. Over time, though, she realised something was missing. When it came to family trauma and loss, the struggles that most needed compassionate support, her professional toolkit felt empty. This is what sparked her curiosity about family relationships, trauma, and the way patterns of relating are carried from one generation to the next. To explore this further, Sharon completed a master's in perinatal and infant mental health and trained as a parent-infant therapist. Drawing on attachment science and neurobiology, she went on to author Mother Baby Nurture, a reflective group for mothers and infants that addresses the transmission of trauma, a subject that's rarely spoken about. Today, Sharon trains and supervises a multidisciplinary team of clinicians delivering Mother Baby Nurture in 13 communities across WA. This free program supports families with newborns, helping them start life together on strong and nurturing foundations. What amazing work you do. Thank you so much for coming and having a conversation with me today.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Lovely to have
Pleased
you here.
to be here.
Yeah. So I'd love to start with, if you're willing to share a little bit about yourself, how you got to this point and why you're passionate about the core, well, maybe not all of them, if you want to, all of them, but the core ideas of this podcast, which are mindfulness, attunement, play and self-care. Is there anything that really stands out to you as something you're passionate about, but also just how you got here?
Well, I think my bio covers it a bit, how I got here, but certainly, I moved into working with parents because I really believed in the kind of philosophy of early intervention. So I sort of thought, starting early is important. So initially I was working with adolescents, and I'm like, that's actually not upstream enough, so then I'm all about kind of, efficiency in kind of delivering an effectiveness. And so I thought, well, if I could work earlier in the parents and infants, that would be a good thing. So I took my skill set to work with parents and infants thinking, that's the ripe and ready opportunity to make a difference and help them on their way. But what I found is, as I mentioned in the bio, I just didn't really have the skills, and I realised what was going on there was not actually something I could teach to. So I was doing a lot of teaching as a child health nurse and a midwife, lots of education-based stuff, and that just really didn't seem to make any difference, or not much difference. Certainly maybe 3 out of 4 clients would be influenced by education, information. I could give them information, they would take it in and then go, oh, yeah, that's what I needed to hear, and then that would help them. But then there was a certain, maybe I think about 1 in 4, where I'd be working with them and nothing I said could make a difference, and I knew it was something else. And that's when I kind of tuned into, there's some sort of pattern coming forward from parent through the generations, from parent to the next parent to the next parent, and that bit there, that kind of thing, which some people call intergenerational transmission of trauma, that's kind of like a pattern, and I couldn't touch that with education. So that's kind of what headed me in this direction.
Yeah. It's really profound stuff, isn't it? That echoes through the generations. So would you tell us a little bit more about Mother Baby Nurture?
Well, Mother Baby Nurture really is about, we call it Mother Baby Nurture to try and point out, that there's a baby and there's somebody else. So this somebody else is really important. Often it's a mother, but it could be a dad or a grandma or a caregiver of some sort. So there's always a baby and someone, and that relationship between the two is the bit that I think we don't have enough services or people supporting that relationship, and to kind of, for a parent or a caregiver to be really present, tuned in, emotionally available for that child, kind of really delighting in that child, baby child. That's such a gift for the developing mind of the infant and developing emotional well-being of the infant. And I just thought that's the bit that I want to be working on. So mother-baby nurture is really a lovely brief intervention where we work with the parent and the baby in the group. There'll be 6 mums, 6 babies, 2 facilitators, and we just slow things right down and work on reflecting on the relationship. There's usually lots of tissues.
Yeah.
It's really intense, but it's beautiful as well. It's both heartbreaking and also inspiring the way these women and babies find each other is just breathtaking. So I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Yeah.
So beautiful and such a powerful, it's like the earliest of interventions almost. It's such a powerful time to have that opportunity to slow things down, look at those patterns and support healing, I guess.
It is healing. Yeah, and it often will start with the mother having an opportunity to unpack her experience of the pregnancy, the birth, the feeding, the kind of early caregiving, what's worked, what's not worked, but also things from the past that they remember. And it's almost like you become a parent and all this stuff comes flooding back, these experiences you've had. And you might have thought, well, I've already worked on that, or that's a long time ago, but it seems to all bubble to the surface. And that's what's so painful, because just at the time when you really want to lean in and do the best job you can is the very time that all this comes up. And I really feel for parents. I think it happens to all of us to some extent, and it's kind of quite crippling for some, and my heart goes out to people in that situation. It's really tough.
Yeah. My experience as well is that there's a sense of, oh, how lovely, you've got a little baby. And you're kind of sitting around and feeding the baby and having cups of tea. But actually it's a time of intense emotional work, as you said.
Yes.
There's so much going on emotionally that I think even if we're prepared or have a sense that it might be big, the actual work of that, not many people are acknowledging or validating. I think there's more and more people acknowledging and validating that, but it's easy for parents, I think, to feel a bit high and dry with all of that emotional work. And again, programs like Mother Baby Nurture give parents a space where that work is really seen and supported.
Yeah, I think I think people will often say things like, well, being a parent is a bit sort of like, a natural process. It's a natural biological process. It'll just come naturally. And I think Mother Baby Nurture is for those that are there and they're like, well, theoretically or officially I am a parent and you are my baby, but nothing's coming naturally or not much, or I'm just terrified something bad's going to happen to you, or that I'm bad, or something bad's going to happen here, and I feel really quite frightened and something's quite threatening and scary and I can't quite work out what. And this is the sort of work of Mother Baby Nurture. It's pretty intense, but it's I think there's not many places where we can slow down and say, yeah, you've just had a baby. What has come naturally is this automatic protectiveness, and you're wanting to protect this incredible being that you've just produced. And these feelings and these sort of unusual thoughts that you might have and surprising feelings you might have are very much the work of becoming a parent and worth noticing and sort of slowing down enough and reflecting on to kind of work out where is that feeling or that thought coming from, and who can, and by sharing it with others in the group, we can sort of begin to make sense of and join the sort of jigsaw pieces up a bit about the sort of thread of the past and how it leads into the future and the present, and kind of start to put the pieces together a bit like a jigsaw. And I don't think there's many opportunities. So it's only 10 weeks, but it is 20 hours, and there's not many mums with busy, frantic, sleep-deprived mums that get 20 hours to kind of work to unpack that in a very gentle way. Yeah. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of play stuff as well. So I am talking about the kind of
the deep
work. Yeah, the deeper stuff. But also there's, we'll often do a little nursery rhyme at the beginning, at the end, and we'll have this moment of watching our baby with wonder and wondering. And that's just a beautiful, slow, reflective, kind of playful space of watching and letting the baby lead in the play. And so there's some other really, and there's some great food as well. So there's lots of lovely bits about the group.
Yes.
It's not all hard work.
I was chatting to someone yesterday who's co-facilitated Mother Baby Nurture, and she was saying, I loved getting like really lovely biscuits, and the mum saying, oh, it's so lovely, look at these delicious biscuits. So it is a real place of nurturing those parents as well.
Yeah, we're quite intentional with that. We're intentional with our kind of, therapists would call this parallel process. So the two people facilitating the Mother Baby Nurture group really work at offering something to the mothers, and the mothers experiencing that and then thinking, I really experienced something special here, whether it's food or comfy chairs or the way the facilitators listen to them, and through experiencing it they can then remember in a very embodied way how to pass that forward to their baby. And so that's what we call a parallel process. Maybe we could say, well, trauma gets passed forward, but also this lovely nurturing can get passed forward as well. So we're starting to awaken those qualities that are in the mother usually somewhere, and we're just helping them to remember them and to draw on that and kind of remember that sort of nurturing quality. So you'll see I've got a little babushka doll sitting here on the desk, and I use this in the group, and but this is a great example of a parallel process, or kind of we're hoping that as facilitators, we nurture the mother so the mother can nurture the baby, and on it goes. So, yeah, it's a case of passing it forward, I guess. We both think about it, we talk about it, but we want them to experience it too. There's some method or method behind the madness of, why we have lovely food and comfy chairs. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, very intentional.
Yeah.
My question for you next is around this podcast. The idea is to give parents some simple touchstones, I guess, as they move through their busy days. And I'm wondering if you have a story about a map or a set of ideas that you've found particularly helpful for yourself or for the parents that you work with when you're feeling a bit lost.
Well, I think again, I'll go back to the babushka doll as being a good model of kind of how connection is felt between a parent and a child. So we talk about attachment, the research of attachment, or the sort of evidence around attachment theory. But really, that's all about connection. And sometimes I think parents are wondering, how do we connect? Is it stuff I say? Is it things we do? Is it kind of how do we connect me and my child? And I would say that just slowing down to be with your child and to notice what they're interested in and what delights them and what their sort of where their curiosity is leading them. This sort of slowing down to be with is so very hard to do, I think, in a busy world. There's washing and cooking and other children. But if perhaps even just a little slowing down. So this is why I have a babushka doll. It's just showing kind of this cupped hands of just holding somebody, which is, mentally you're holding them in mind and you're wondering, oh, hello, baby. I wonder what you're interested in. Are you interested in coming in and getting some comfort? And kind of, do you need some support with your big feelings of hunger or longings or emotions, or are you wanting to explore? Do you know which is it you're wanting from me? Do you need to come in or are you going out? And that's the attachment theory in a nutshell. So, yeah, I would say the slowing down to listen to a little person who has no words yet and can only express things through sounds and their body. It takes courage, I think, to do that. By sitting alongside the mothers, I hope that we help them to sit on their hands and to kind of just quieten down to listen and have the courage to respond. And maybe it even looks a bit silly or like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be. But I think the slowing down to listen is such a gift. And I'm aware right now, Belynda, I am not doing lots of listening. I'm doing lots of talking. But in a group,
that's the idea of today.
Good.
Appropriate sort of levels of conversation for a podcast where we're wanting to learn more about this program. And yeah, I do love it. And I think it makes sense to me that slowing down, if you've never had someone listen to your feelings or hear your experiences or hold your emotions in the way you just described, can actually be really scary, can't it? So you're right, I think, about the courage piece, that it takes a lot of courage because you're not just then holding your baby's sadness or overwhelm or frustration or whatever. You're also then opening up a part of your heart to look at the times when you've had those feelings and you've been by yourself. So the group, again, offers someone to be by you, beside you while you do that. It's really profound stuff, isn't it? It seems so simple, just be with your baby, but really big. Yeah.
And that's why we want to be with you. Do you know that? That's why, we think it does feel quite frightening. It might be like, I don't have anything to give. I'm not sure what's going to come up. I might feel like I'm going to fall apart. And so just to know we will sit beside you and be with you in that moment, and we're there to kind of help you make sense of whatever comes up. And that's rare offering, I think. And but yeah, we're committed to that. And I think you're right, Belynda, around kind of, it's scary. You never know what's going to come up with your baby and also what's going to come up for yourself. But I like the thing that, everything can be thought about and talked about. And, as facilitators of the group, sometimes we get it wrong. You might ask me something and I take it in the wrong direction, or, we get off on a tangent. And that's the thing about human relationships. It's not about perfection and getting it right. It's about just being open, listening, having a go, and then saying, "Oh, is that what you meant?" And and then through that you get to know each other and actually form a deeper connection. If I kind of got it wrong one time and we talked about it, thought about it, I could kind of practice and get it right again next time. So that's what we call, I guess, rupture and repair. Relationships. It's ordinary and normal for us to kind of, oh, you need some sleep now, and you start settling them, and then it's like, oh no, you don't. It was a nappy. You're filling your nappy, and we can only just learn through having a go and And then when we sort of miss each other, noticing that we miss each other and saying, oh, hey, sorry about that. That's, I thought you were saying this and you were doing this. Let's get back together again and repair. So there's a humility required in kind of listening and being still, and then just realizing, oh, I didn't get it right. And I think, yeah, as a facilitator, we have a go at it, and as mums, I hope we can have a go at it. So it's not sort of perfection, but connection, and we just keep having a go at it. The main thing is not that you get it right, but just that you're present. And if you think about your loved ones, if you think, oh, who are my loved ones? It's not that you've chosen loved ones because they're perfect. You've chosen them because you just feel understood by them. They understand you, you understand them. And you're like, oh. It's those little moments that you think, oh, yeah, they see me. They see me, they're feeling with me, they kind of get me. And you acknowledge, well, they're a bit quirky, I'm a bit quirky, but that's okay. So there's this sort of acceptance, and I think that's really sacred in families. We're a quirky bunch, let's just hang out together and we'll just cheer each other on and accept our diversity and how different and odd we all are.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Again, around parents feeling a little lost, because my experience is that most of us do a lot of the time.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah. Including the ones facilitating the groups generally. We're all sort of finding our way. If we're looking for a kind of a true north or a really simple, actionable thing to look to, maybe a step, a practical thing to do, what's something you would offer parents in that space?
Well, in line with what we were talking about, I think I'd encourage parents who are pretty frazzled and frantic and things feel a bit overwhelming. I might just suggest something like at the beginning of the day, just knowing that each day is a fresh day with your loved ones and that tomorrow is a fresh day. And what I would suggest is maybe starting a fresh day with a bit of pause. So first of all, get yourself your cup of tea and do nurturing things for yourself, and then have a pause where you're just watching and waiting and listening. And I'd just encourage you, if you could start your day with maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes of just listening to your loved ones, your children, without doing anything, fixing anything, just being with. I'd like to be a fly on the wall, but I think in that household, but I think what you would find is this child who wants to feel understood and longs for connection, because all humans do, has this incredible drinking in of your presence. And it's so satiating that maybe the sort of climbing on the couch and somersaulting off onto the television or the, chasing the dog or something may not happen because they've actually satiated that. Oh, I feel seen, I feel understood, I feel, and there's a real experiential exhale, and they're like, oh, well, now that I've been connected with, I might not need to do those other things. And I think it might set the day off well. And it's a little bit like we have mindfulness moments at the beginning of the day. We'll often do maybe, for adult self-care, we might do yoga, or we might go for a jog, or we might do some lovely things for ourselves at the beginning of the day. We might journal. It's a little bit like that, but you're holding space for your child, and that helps them to kind of reset for the day. That perhaps might be one little trick I have in my back pocket that I could bring out and say, yeah, I think that might be a gift.
Brilliant tool in the toolkit.
Yeah, just to start the day off like that. And then by the end of the week, sort of noticing, I wonder what I've learned over this week. And we talk about presence and we talk about connection, but perhaps another word that doesn't get used enough. As somebody who, I think started out perhaps as a bit of a perfectionistic parent, but really trying to do a good job. But I think a word I'd like to use is delight. Sometimes children and even babies feel they're always getting it quite right. And I think this 5 minutes in the morning, if you could just sort of open your eyes and think, what's something delightful about this person, and sort of being open to being delighted by them and experiencing delight in the presence of the other. I think delight's maybe not talked about enough, but that sort of respect and kind of being open to their who they are as a person. A gift for a child to be delighted in is food for the soul, I think. Yeah.
So core, isn't it? And whether they're a tiny baby or a hulking great teenager, it's still the same feeling, I think, on the inside when someone really sees you and delights in you. Really special. Thank you. So I wonder if anyone listening in wants to get in contact with you or learn more about Mother Baby Nurture, if you can share where they can go to.
Sure. Well, I think I said in my little bio that there's 13 communities that have Mother Baby Nurture. Soon there's going to be 14. And so we have Mother Baby Nurture groups all around Western Australia at the moment. So if you went to the website, you just type in to the search Mother Baby Nurture, and up will come the website, and that will describe the program. And you can also click on groups and then look at where the groups are happening near you. So if you're expecting a baby, or if you're just recently had a baby's not yet crawling, then you can just zip onto that and read about it, and also maybe even register somebody else that you love, for the group near your area. So as long as it's not too far away from your home. I'd love to have a group in every second suburb, but we haven't got there yet. So in the meantime, there are 14 communities where you can experience it, and it's free. It's funded by the government. So that's where you could find me, and you could find. Well, there's 7 organisations delivering the group, so you can have a little look and go from there.
Well, I would love to finish by saying thank you for everything that you do and all the emotional work you've done to be able to be facilitating Mother Baby Nurture and supporting all the facilitators. It's like they're the hands holding the mums and babies, and you're supporting all of them as well. So thank you for everything you're doing. I think it's an amazing program.
Yeah, thanks, Belynda. Yeah, it's a real delight. Love my work, and it's a privilege to be part of people's lives. So in this way, it's very very nourishing, good work to be doing. So it's a delight to be doing it, and it's nice to meet people like you as well. Yeah, doing your thing. So thank you.
Thank you. This podcast is produced by Meerilinga, thanks to funding from Healthway. I'm Belynda Smith, Manager of Parenting Services at Meerilinga. If you'd like to know more, you can visit our website, www.meerilinga.org.au, or if you'd like to get in touch, send us an email, parenting@meerilinga.org.au, or visit us on socials.